Oh, one way to vet really insecure men is do something competitive with them and win. No, for real. Thank you for this comment. I've talked about this before, but an insecure man is the most dangerous man that a woman can ever mess around with or marry, especially, or have kids with, and they will literally ruin your life. If not take your life, okay? Because insecure men cannot stand a woman who is better than them, and they know she's better than him. And so he will try to take her down a peg at every chance. Now, how do you notice this in the early stages? And by the way, before I go into any of this, there is no foolproof test. And two of the mutuals I'm going to tag right now, they talk about this all the time. There is no list of things that will make you safe from men. They can pass all your tests and then become a completely different person like that, because some of these men are so good at manipulating you. And at the same time, I do believe, in my own experience especially, that once you start seeing red flags and get really good at seeing red flags, you can vet a lot better. So what is a really important red flag? A very important red flag. Men who compete with you and cannot handle losing to you. And I've talked about this before, but I didn't even realize that my husband had kind of passed a lot of these tests. They're not tests. They're more oh wow, he doesn't have that red flag. Actually, he has this green flag. And one of those was, I'm really good at Frisbee, and I beat him every time at Frisbee. And despite him having a little bit of frustration with himself, and, whenever he would miss, he'd be like, dang it, But he never centered his shame or used his disappointment in himself to knock me down a peg. If anything, every single time I catch the Frisbee and jump up and grab, he'll be like, yes, babe, great job. You know what I mean? Because he loves to see me soar, right? The same way I love to see him soar. I don't want him to be a worthless piece of crap who's not living up to his potential. And he doesn't want that for me either. A lot of men actually don't want you to succeed because patriarchy has convinced them that they should be at the top, that they should dominate, that they should have all the power and control. And if they think that you're better than them, their life mission will be to tear you down, while at the same time feeling very proud of themselves and very accomplished for getting you to begin with. But when men have this dangerous combination of deep indoctrination into patriarchy, white supremacy, capitalism culture, right? And unresolved trauma that they refuse to deal with, woo boy, you do not want that. You do not want that, because those men will be so upset when you do great. And a lot of times you can hear what women say all the time, right? Y'all might think that I'm full of crap, and I totally get that, because so many people online are just saying one thing and doing another thing. But just look at the facts. Since I've been with my husband, my career, like that, blast off. Why? Because he believes in me. He supports me. He's cheering me on. He wants me to soar. He's not the least bit intimidated by me winning at anything. He's always wanted to be a writer, and he is a really great writer. He's working on that, and he's putting himself out there more and more. But he's not threatened by the fact that I'm way farther in my career than him. And he's way better at other stuff than me. And I learn from him, and I'm inspired by him. That's what teamwork is. But if you look at a woman who is with a man, and maybe her career's taken off, but she looks like crap, she's tired, she's doing everything, and she gets sick all the time, I'm always going to side-eye her husband. If her career is stalled, especially if she's super talented and her career just kind of falls off, I'm going to side-eye her husband. He's not cheering her on. He's not pushing her. He's not encouraging her to fulfill her dreams. He's making her be the sidecar on his adventure of life and success. Women already have imposter syndrome and all this crap. If we already question whether we belong in places that we absolutely belong in, we already have so much doubt in ourselves. The last thing we need is a man in our life who is going to feed that little fire of self-doubt, feed that dog of self-hatred. We do not need that. What I need is someone who's going to feed the fire, feed the flame of my ambitions, my dreams, my self-love, my self-discovery, my journey. And if you're with a man who is not doing that, not helping you grow, but is actively sabotaging you and pulling you backwards, that's not love. If you are so insecure in yourself that you can't handle someone else thriving, that's not true. true love. That is love that is being burdened by your own trauma, and you need to heal it. But men don't want to do that. Most of them won't do it. And that's why they're going to die alone. And they won't even die with an animal because they won't even take care of themselves, much less an animal. At least women that die alone die with friends and cats that adore them, and like my dog. A man who competes with you and can't handle you winning, especially in the beginning, will ruin your career, ruin your health, and probably even ruin your life. Huge red flag. Be careful out there, y'all.